Hi everybody. Happy New Year. I wanted to come back here and do a video. I am laying in bed currently and decided to do one. I haven't done one in a little bit. I've been getting a little bit paranoid. Not paranoid, but you know, your inner critic saying it's stupid, don't do it, things like that. But something that's really been weighing on me as I'm working through DBT and things like that is borderline personality disorder and gaslighting. I just learned the term within the last probably couple of years, and I'm so glad that I did, because I was never able to accurately describe to people or even to myself what my family did to me, and it almost seemed like it wasn't real because I couldn't describe it. So I'm so glad that I did describe the term. A couple things. At the core, I think that borderline personality disorder is caused by extended periods of gaslighting. I think that it's as simple as that. And I'm sure genetics and things like that play a factor into it. But at the end of the day, I don't know any borderline that has not been extensively gaslighted. So the first thing, and I'm learning for myself, but the first thing that I would like to say to every borderline is that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You just simply have a reaction to extended gaslighting. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here. So I wanted to come and kind of give examples and things like that. So I was thinking about my family. And I love them, but they've gaslighted me for an incredibly long time. My mom being the main one, and I'm the oldest of 6, so now the kids are doing it as well. Although I do love them, and they're not as to blame as she is. So I wanted to kind of give some examples. Now, these are recent examples of gaslighting. I haven't completely cut my family out. I'm to the point where I'm starting to set boundaries and things like that, but it's just so difficult because when you're gaslighted for so long, that's your default. Like, people have to convince you, and you have to convince yourself that the gaslighting is not real, and you have to do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's just exhausting. It's like trying to program a remote all day, every day, and it's been really hard for me. So I wanted to kind of just give a couple examples. My mascara, I think I rubbed it off. I don't care. Anyways, I would like to give a couple examples. The first one is, I will give this as an example. I went over to a family member's home pretty recently, and I was not feeling good. I wanted to see her kid because he's so cute. All her kids are so cute. They love me so much. And he just brightens up my day. So I had gone over there and I had let this family member know. I'm going to try to put this here so I don't have to hold it. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So I had let that family member know, hey, I'm coming over. I didn't feel good at all. I do have Lyme disease. Has been a really big struggle for me. Bad. And I had PMDD really bad. I didn't realize, and thank God I know now, that I had an extreme candida overload from the Lyme disease. I was reacting to dairy. I was reacting to gluten. And when I had PMDD, it was horrible. Every second was horrible. I actually have PMS now, and it's still pretty bad, but not as bad as it was. So I had went over to this family member's house. And I was exhausted from work. I didn't even want to go over there. I just simply wanted a little bit of joy in my day. So I had gone over and I had, said to them, listen, I'm at the end of my rope. I'm going to lose it. Everything that's going on in my life is really, really bad. You don't have to be there for me. And I shouldn't have even had to say that. But I knew they wouldn't be, and I knew that they would turn it around, that I was trying to get them to feel sorry for me. So I said, I don't expect you to fix it, to ask me what's going on, but I just want to tell you I'm really, really struggling. And because my moods had gone up and down, and my hair's like, ugh. Because my moods had gone so up and down with the PMDD, constant, like worse than just borderline, because it's up, down, your hormones are a mess. and your body's fighting. Lyme disease is a syphilis-like infection. So, I mean, your body has a lot to fight. And I had gone over there and I had told this person that. And I didn't continue to go on about this because in my family, anything that you say is considered negative. And you're considered just a negative person who nobody wants to be around. When I had Lyme disease, when I first got it, the doctors thought I was going to be in a wheelchair. I couldn't stand. It hurt my arm so bad just to grab a bowl and bring it down that I had to order out food every day. It took me 45 minutes to get up the stairs because I would move my leg and it would burn so bad I'd have to sit down. I would move my leg again. It would burn again. It was really scary. And when I had said that to my family members, or just because I was absolutely terrified, they had responded by saying, we don't feel bad for you. You're almost like, because I'm expressing my Lyme disease, I'm manifesting a negative outcome, and then I'm going to be just fine. And that's another example of gaslighting. But this family member knows my Lyme disease and basically doesn't want to hear it. And I kind of have made peace with that. So I told them, it's really bad. I'm not going to talk about it. But I'm just not in a good mood. I want to see the baby. I want to play with them, and then I'm going to leave. I didn't even really want to be there, but I just wanted that moment of joy from a child. So I kind of sat there knowing that they weren't going to ask me how I was or anything. And they began to talk, and they began to talk and talk and talk and brag and talk. Now, I just kind of sat there because with this person, anything you say that's not the exact script of what they want you to say, you're a horrible person, you shouldn't have said it like that, you're not supportive, everything like that. And I mean, if you slightly even disagree with them, not even disagree with them, just say, you know, are you sure you're okay? Are you going to be able to handle that? Nothing. So I just sat there and I listened to this person. Now, I was having an incredibly hard time concentrating. I found out a lot of that was from the dairy because I had Hashimoto's, also caused by Lyme, by the candida overload caused by Lyme. So I was really, really sick. I was having a hard time concentrating. It really scared me. I'm doing much better now. Much better now. I have to crack my neck. But I was having such a hard time concentrating that I would get on the phone with somebody and I would hang up the phone and I would say, oh my God, did I just talk to them? I forgot my PIN number that I've had for years. It was so scary. And for me, I work at a call center and I always had such good soft skills. I couldn't listen to people. Like, it required such an effort for me to listen to people. And people would say, why aren't you listening? And it was so scary. It was so scary because it was like you couldn't focus. And it was just a weird thing for me. And I had told this family member this. I didn't go into great detail because they didn't care at the end of the day and they didn't want to hear it. So I had told this family member this. I had also told this family member, you know, that I wasn't doing well. And they proceed to tell me how great their life is going and how they're doing so good at their new job, which, you know, is kind of insensitive when somebody tells you they're having such a bad day. And I sat there and I didn't respond. Number one, I didn't respond because I felt like shit. Number two, I was afraid to say the wrong thing. And number three, I physically was so sick that it was difficult for me to even concentrate on the story that they were telling me. And I tried so hard to be an okay, what they deemed an okay person, to listen as much as I could listen. And as they were saying that, I guess I did something that made them think, you know what I mean, that I wasn't listening, or I didn't do it good enough, or what I didn't do good enough, I don't know. But this person said to me, you know, now knowing that I couldn't concentrate, you know, you don't have to be such a negative person. Maybe you can work on your listening skills and like being supportive, like a normal supportive person would do. And it was just a total mind fuck. And I didn't know how to defend myself. I didn't know what was the appropriate way to act. There was cognitive dissonance because I didn't know what rights I had, what rights I didn't have, what was appropriate, what was an appropriate boundary with my Lyme disease, and what was me just milking it. And it makes me paranoid. That's just one example. This has been hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years of minutes of gaslighting again and again and again. And it makes you paranoid about everything. And I mean, you can't even really call it paranoid, because I had a psychologist tell me the one time, the only reason, or the only way you're paranoid is if you think something that absolutely can't happen. And if this is happening again and again with your family members, you're not, or you've had a history of that, you're not paranoid. So I do want to say that, because I think paranoia has a negative connotation, and I've been told that a lot, and I used to believe that. And now it's like, no, I'm not paranoid. This is just me reacting to something that happened to me. But that type of issues makes you like what other people would deem as paranoid. When you go into society, when you start dealing with coworkers, friends, things like that. Now, they don't understand, so you can give them that. And I'm working on the fact that people are not black and white, or good or bad. But I can't help but being a little angry at friends and things like that that have said to me that I'm paranoid. Because you would think that they would stop and think what I have been through before calling me paranoid, and realizing that it's a reaction to what I've been through. So you're not paranoid. I'm sure everybody's been told that. But it makes, and also, people do not react kindly to paranoia. I don't know why. It kind of makes, you know, when you ask somebody something like, did I say this? Did I do this? Did I do this? Even if you're not attacking them personally, people kind of tend to be judgmental and mean and put it on you for being paranoid. Even, and I'm not just talking like people that gaslight you, I'm talking friends, boyfriends, co-workers. They tend to put it on you, like you're paranoid. And the term paranoia also suggests there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. I know there's nothing wrong with me. There's a lot wrong with me. But I know that I'm not paranoid. I'm just reacting. And I'm working on the whole gaslighting thing. I can go on and on and on and on about examples. That's just a recent example. I have more. But I just kind of felt the need to come on and talk about this. And if anybody has any tips for anything that helped them with gaslighting, it's so hard. It's kind of hard because I have Lyme disease. I've gotten a lot better, but I have such a brain fog some days. Like right now, my thyroid's off, and you can tell this and this. Like, I've never had these. I also ate dairy over the holidays. I decided to have broccoli with Velveeta cheese, and anytime I eat a lot of dairy, my memory kind of goes, and it kind of makes it difficult to concentrate. So I do have Lyme disease. I'm having issues with concentration, and I'm trying to do something which is undo this gaslighting that comes up every second. I keep having to turn my mind again and again and again. And some days the brain fog from my Lyme disease makes it like I can't think, I can't write. So that's what I'm going through. I pray that I want to get over this gaslighting. Again, if anybody has any tips, I'm coming a long way with this, even like more so than I was last year or 6 months ago. If anybody has any tips, and to anybody with borderline personality disorder, again, I'm sure you were gaslighted. Whatever anybody told you was not true. But that's kind of it. Have a good night and have a happy new year.